give it a shot.
So anyway, let's do some quick articles before we get out of here. Let's just stick with since we kind of were talking about Absolute Batman, let's just get into this Absolute Batman article here. So Scott Snyder, Nick Dragotta on Absolute Batman for at least 2 years. So they've signed up for 2 years and they say they will keep writing as long as you keep buying. So there's a lot of plans, man. A lot of plans with Absolute Batman. It's not just going to be here for a short amount of time and then taking off, which I think is good. It makes you think that there's actually some investment in this, right? It's not just like a turn and burn. No, it doesn't have any like play down the line. So I really like that. But this is what Snyder says. So his approach to character generation, he said, instead of starting with the gallery of characters and deciding which ones we want to bring in, I'm trying to really focus on Bruce and his story in this universe and let that dictate who shows up and how. He's a really different version of himself in Absolute. He's both angrier and more idealistic. He's young and wild, and he grew up in Crime Alley with some of the people who eventually become his villains in the main universe. So I sort of start from there and then think about what he would do, who he would know, who he would consider an ally or a friend, who he'd be suspicious of, and build out from there. When it comes to people who are going to be his real antagonist, I try to think of characters that would give him the hardest time in this version of himself. And then Nick and I discuss how to make them even more difficult and challenging for Bruce just to be mean. So it's fun stuff, man. Like, I mean, I'm here for it, dude. It's, even the synopsis of like Absolute Batman without the mansion, without the money, without the butler, what's left is the absolute dark night. That's hard, dude. That's badass. So
Well, again, for the people that read it and it's spoiler, you look at it as the Joker, who is, what people call him as the Joker, seems like a rich person. So he kind of is on the opposite end of
right. It's like a
the
character
normal
study.
DC universe. Like instead
Yeah.
of being Bruce Wayne with all this money and power and wealth and just gadgets to be able to be Batman, you have this guy who could be this villain, and now he's going to be like super rich, right?
Yeah, total role reversal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. Absolute Batman. I'm with you too, man. I'm really hoping. I read there was another article here that was talking about like the numbers for Absolute Wonder Woman is already really high, and they think the numbers for Absolute Superman are going to be even higher than Wonder Woman. So like I'm with you, man. Those are the ones you got to nail, right? The Trinity. So
And even, I mean, we didn't really talk about it during the reviews, but so the villain's pretty much in that first issue. It's like, would you say it's Black Mask, right? The
oh
party
yeah,
animals.
it was like there was like two villains, right? There was the gang that was like that he fought, and then there was like were they aliens? What were those things? Like that little
Uh,
baby that was like a squid head?
did I miss this? Wait,
So there
what?
was like they were in that dinner, right? They were in that like dinner room,
Yeah.
and
Oh, those guys with like almost the Professor X
yeah,
when
but
he's got like
the
the
one that was like a young kid that was floating in the pool had like
yeah.
tentacle head.
Yep.
So like I don't know what they are.
Yeah, I don't know who that's gonna be. But the other, I guess the party animals would be the terrible trio of like that universe, because the terrible trio was like a bunch of like low, like
Yeah,
D-level Batman rogue villains that dressed up as
animals.
animals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I got the party animals of, but
But that one dude did look like Black Mask. He had kind of like a Black
yes.
mask.
Yeah, yeah. Because then he's got all the different like Falcone and
Yeah.
Maroni and all the like their faces and stuff. He's like, I'm gonna put you and your brother here next. He's like, oh shit. And they kill those guys.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that was weird. I didn't, I guess time will tell, right? On what
Mhm.
happens there. So I'm wondering if he'll bring some, I mean, it's his creation. He's going to bring in, it'll be interesting to see his version of like Court of Owls, right? In this universe.
Yeah, if we get there.
Yeah.
Definitely if we get there. I think, it'll probably be, how he's saying this and how it's kind of a flipped on a lot of things. I'm sure maybe in time, like Tim Drake will be a bad guy or a villain. Maybe Dick at some point.
Mm.
Jason will probably be in that kind of tiptoe the line. Like, I don't think they'll introduce. I think he'll stick just to Batman and his rogues, but because we've already seen Dick, so maybe Tim will get introduced as like a villain, and because we've seen Barbara, right? Yeah, Barbara was in
Where did
there.
we see Dick? Sounds
Isn't
weird.
he fighting? He's not fighting, but isn't he in the gym, like
The
using the
one holding
punching
the
bag?
bag?
Yeah.
I don't know if that
Like
was
before,
him.
he's like, oh Bruce. He's like, I was just getting it warmed up for you. I thought
Yeah.
that's what I
Did
read.
they name him? I don't remember.
I could have sworn it was Dick. I could be wrong, or I
You
just
just see Dick everywhere, dude? So just see Dick, huh?
Richard Grayson there, Zach. Sorry.
His government name, dude. You don't know if he goes by Dick in this universe?
Yeah, exactly. He goes by penis.
He's like, "Hey, man, there's no Dick in this universe. It's just Richard." Hold
There you
on.
go.
I'm pulling it up because I can't remember. I mean, I wouldn't be it looked like it definitely could have been, but I can't remember if they named him. Okay,
I
so
could have
here's this
sworn
dude. He
that's who he
says, "Hey,
was.
Bruce, sorry, blah, blah, blah." He said, "Don't worry. Love's in the air. Now move." So they don't really name that dude.
Oh, I could have sworn it was.
It looks kind of like him.
Okay. All right. That's what I guess, but I just like to think anybody who's introduced in the Batman that kind of looked like mainstream
Yeah,
is
someone. Yeah,
some yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
right. I mean, we didn't mention Harvey's one of the crew too. So it was Eddie,
Oh,
Harvey,
yep.
Oz, and Selena,
Mhm,
and Croc.
mhm.
So that's cool, man. But yeah,